I guess the first flight is one of the most memorable ones you have. I mean, because it is the first flight in the Tomcat. CQ, my first CQ was the first baby out of the training command to CQ a Tomcat on the Kitty Hawk. That was a big experience. So the thing I liked about it, I loved the airplane. It was a beast to fly. And I guess the thing I loved about it the most, when you fought the airplane, there was things you could modify in the airplane. You could pull some circuit breakers, specifically the mid-compression bypass circuit breaker to give you more thrust. You can pull the aux flap circuit breaker, which allowed you to put, we called it the big boys, put the flaps all the way down with the aux flaps would stay up, so you didn't get the drag from that, but you got the lifties out of the main flaps and the full slats. And so I got renowned for doing that. And of course that was a prohibited maneuver, quote unquote, by NATOMs, but you know, you beg for forgiveness in the Navy. You know, you don't ask for permission. So, and I did it my whole career, and I never broke a jet because if you're very careful when you're with Tomcat, if you put the flaps down in a normal 1G environment at the normal airspeed is like 225 knots or less, you put the flaps down, and then you leave them down until it's time to come up, and then once you stabilize, you bring them up when you're not under G and you're not fast. But you could take it out to 350 knots that way, and I did. I mean, I fought a brand new Hornet Marine guy, Top Gun guy, and they were up at the Oak Club at Miramar, not in Miramar, but at Oceana. And we were fighting against them. We had brand new F-14s right from the factory. And I go, so these guys are talking big about the, you know, we'll spank the Tomcat and all this stuff. So I start talking to this guy and baiting him in. I go, I tell you what, tomorrow we have a 2v2 scheduled ever, and you're in that flight, I'm on that flight. I tell you, we'll just make it a 1v1. A 1v1, guns only, visual split, fights on the turn-in. And I said, but one engagement, whoever wins, assuming somebody wins, then the other squadron, the loser squadron, is going to buy all the cocktails and all the steamship round and all the shrimp we can eat on Friday night at the Oceana Oak Club. And that's back when the Oak Clubs were still a lot of fun. So we go to the brief, and then next day I launch out. Both squadrons fill the tax range because it's on the tax range. So we go out, and I go out, and I tell them I have to do a profile C for something, which was not the case. I just need to launch early and go down. Really what I do is I went all the way down to the south end of the range in Whiskey 72 and dumped. I dumped gas down to about 6,500 pounds. And then we do a little intercept, we take apart, we take a split. Meanwhile, I'm going like 300 knots, and then I'm bringing the boards back, but I manually sweep the wings back to like bomb, so he thinks I'm going 450 knots. So I take him out a little farther than normal. Fights on, we turn in, I got him bomb, and I'm at 250 knots, and I go, and then I immediately get below 225. Wings come forward, all the circuit breakers are out, MCB circuit breaks pulled, aux flap circuit breakers, the big boys come down, and then I go to full grunt, and I merge at about 325. I drive him into a one-circle fight. I'm eating him up like a big dog. He's at 450 knots pulling 7 Gs, and I'm just turning in silent. What I hoped he would do, and what he did was he got antsy and he pulled at me hard. Bled like, you know, he bled all his knots, and then I went to vertical, and I had plenty of smack, like 100 knots plus over him, and I go, and he goes up and dies, and I did sort of a double emblem thing, came down and gunned him in 42 seconds from the turn in. And he says, you know, and I said, tracking. Of course, everybody in the tax range has seen this. They're going, you know, and I'm at 800 feet just drilling them. And then he says, okay, let's set up another. I just said, no, I'm bingo. So, and the other deal was, if you lost, you had to do it straight in. You couldn't go into the break. So anyway, so that's the things I loved about the Tomcat, because there was stuff you could do with that airplane to turn it into a true BFM monster, particularly as you got later, we got the big engines. We got the B models and the D models, and I have a lot of time in those, but that was an awesome airplane. That's what the airplane's supposed to be in the whole time. So that was the thing I loved about the Tomcat. The thing I hated about the Tomcat the most was I never got to kill anybody with it. I mean, I chased a MiG for 200 miles, but I could never get close enough. I shot a sidewinder at him just to hope he'd turn. He didn't. But anyway, that was the case. And so I never got to shoot anybody down. I mean, that was the thing I hated about the whole process the most.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss new upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.